So from here on out, I'm just gonna be like recalling the movie and commenting on it. Basically going through the plot a little bit. And I've had a couple beers, so if you haven't seen the movie so far, don't watch this. If you have, bear with me. um, it starts off the beginning. I think it starts off with that song. I don't like this song anymore at all. It's "Spirit in the Sky." Uh, there's two brothers, Bill Paxton and Billy Bob. Bill Paxton is like the straight, square guy, your main character, a good character. I'll get into him more. In the book too. He's also, I think he narrates it. If he doesn't narrate it, it's third person centered on him. Um, and Billy Bob, who was nominated for an Oscar for this, and I think should have won, plays his brother Jacob, who is like developmentally challenged, slow, and not successful in life, and he's never had a girlfriend and stuff. Um, those are the main characters. It starts off "Spirit in the Sky" blasting, and it's Jacob in his pickup truck picking or driving up to Hank's house, Bill Paxton, to pick him up. And I think Bill Paxton is a little perplexed at why. I haven't seen this in a couple years. I'm doing this all by memory. So um, Hank hasn't seen his brother, or Hank doesn't. I think Hank was getting ready to go to work or something. He's just like, "What the hell is his brother doing showing up?" And it's his brother and his like alky buddy, the Brent Briscoe guy. Got and I'm not gonna remember his character's name, so it's just we're gonna call him the redneck guy. Maybe it'll come to me as I go through this, or maybe I'll just put the effort into going to IMDb and looking it up. But for this segment, it's the redneck guy. So Billy Bob, the redneck guy, come to pick up Billy Bob's brother, our main character, Bill Paxton. I always want to say Bill Pullman or something, Bill something. Come to pick up Bill Paxton at his house. Bill Paxton's wife is pregnant, and actually, I forgot something. Before that, it starts off with like a little montage showing Hank working at a feed mill and talking about how his dad told him how you know if you're having a good life, and it was just like you're happy, you have a wife, you have a family, you have a job, stuff like that. That's like this opening narration that started off. Then it's Spirit in the Sky and Jacob and his redneck buddy coming to pick up Hank. And I think the reason they're picking him up is because they wanted to go see Hank and Jacob's dead father. It was like the anniversary of his death or his birthday, some some sort of memorial that Jacob wanted to go see him. Oh no, actually, I think Jacob just wanted to go see him. And Hank asks, "Why are we going to see him?" He's like, "Well, you need a reason to go see your dad at the cemetery." It's like right away, you can tell like Jacob is just like the salt of the earth guy that who's also slow but also emotional, and he has a heart to him. So they go off in the pickup truck and they're driving off the cemetery. I think they go to the cemetery and then they're leaving or something, drinking beers, except for Hank, who's the square, driving at the wheel. Their dog is in the back of the pickup truck. He hops off to chase this fox that runs across the road. They almost hit. And that's also something that plays through the opening credits is this fox running through the woods and stuff. And you're like, what the hell does this fox have to do with anything? Well, the fox, sends the characters towards the plot. So the dog jumps off the back of the pickup truck. He goes running after the fox into the woods. They pull over in the pickup truck. They go chasing the animals into the woods. And it's there that they discover a crashed plane with like a dead pilot. He's in there getting his eyes and stuff picked out by a bird. Hey, you want to tell me this isn't horror? His eyes are getting picked out by birds right away, and as they go on the plane, the birds come at and attack Hank, the square. They send him and right away in these opening parts, they set up this dynamic well between the three of them, where like Hank is obviously the smartest of the three, and they have to kind of look to him for guidance, but at the same time, they don't respect him because he's a square. Like he doesn't drink before 5. You don't drink before 5 p.m. Oh, oh, Hank. They give him shit about his like he's worried about his shoes running in the snow. And like, look at Hank. And there's some word that the redneck guy makes fun of Hank for saying, insinuating. You with your fancy college words, insinuating. So that dynamic is set up right away as they're like going and chasing the dogs in the woods. They're making fun of him prancing through the snow like a pussy. And they stumble upon this plane. They make Hank go in. He gets pecked. He gets hit by a bird. He's bleeding. He discovers the dead pilot. And it's gory. It's like a gory dead corpse. Point number two that maybe this has something to do with the horror genre. I'm not making these videos just to prove that Simple Plan is a horror movie. It's just something. It's one point about the movie that I think it's valid. And in the plane, Hank discovers a bag, a big gym bag. He drags it out. They look at it all. It's $4 million. And immediately, Hank's brother and the redneck guy are all for like, oh, we're gonna take this and run away. Let's just go. We found the money. And right away, this is it's a great what if situation. It's very you can empathize with them in a way, even if you've never been there, because you're just like you imagine in your head what would you do if you found a gym bag. You find a down plane, a dead pilot, and a gym bag filled with $4 million. What are you gonna do? Hank, the good brother with the job and the wife and the kid on the way, says, "We gotta turn this into the authorities." Like he doesn't even question it, while the other of them are like counting it in their head. Like, if we split this, 3 ways, that's like a million or something a piece, right? So then there's another dynamic in the plot there that's set up between that divides Hank and his brother and his friend, where Hank is the guy that wants to do the right thing, and the brother and friend are like the devil's on his shoulder, dragging him the wrong way. And you are the viewer, and this is how it works. You're in the main character's shoes. You're supposed to identify with them, so you're Hank. You're the straight guy, and you're like, well, the right thing to do is to turn the money into the police. Maybe it'll be a reward, and it's the right thing to do. Then you have your brother and his buddy outnumbering you, and what they're saying kind of sounds like it makes a little bit of sense. They're like, hey, this is $4 million, right? That's the hook that draws you into the movie. That's what drives the movie and makes it a great thriller and a possible horror movie. And it's what fuels a plot that keeps getting darker and darker and more violent and more exciting as it goes along.